Okay, let's jump right into this explainer covering one of the most unconventional political ascensions in modern history. Today, we're unpacking the absolute whirlwind story of Balen Shah. You probably know him as Balen Shah. We're going to zero in specifically on how his laser-focused approach to modernizing Kathmandu's governance didn't just transform a single city, but actually sparked a nationwide movement.
I mean, just think about the sheer improbability of this premise for a second. We're talking about a popular underground nefo-operist, a rapper who was dropping tracks about urban social issues, who also happens to be a structural engineer with a master's degree from India. How on earth does someone with that specific, totally unique background rise to the absolute highest political office? Well, as we'll see, it all traces back to his time as mayor of Kathmandu.
To really grasp the scale of this achievement, you have to look at his age, just 36 years old. Following a massive landslide victory in the 2026 general election, Balen Shah was appointed Prime Minister of Nepal. That officially made him the youngest serving state leader in the entire world at the time. It's just a staggering milestone that completely upended traditional politics in Nepal. But, the real catalyst for that massive national victory boils down to this exact number of votes, 61,767. That was his winning tally back in the 2022 local elections when he completely shocked the political establishment to become Kathmandu's first ever independent mayor. He beat out seasoned career politicians by a margin of more than 23,000 votes. This was the exact moment the public handed him the keys to the capital to really test out his vision.
Okay, so let's move into Section 1, Rewiring City Hall and Municipal Governance.
Visually, Shah literally brought his underground rap persona straight into the mayor's office. He was famous for wearing these dark sunglasses and carrying a wooden walking stick, a laro, as he navigated the city's narrow alleys. But hey, make no mistake here, behind those sunglasses was a highly technical, bureaucratic reformer. He wasn't just a symbol, right? He brought this absolutely uncompromising structural engineering mindset to the everyday chaos of municipal government.
He immediately kicked off a massive transparency overhaul. The old Kathmandu basically relied on closed-door meetings and paper building permits, which, let's be honest, were notorious for creating opportunities for bribery. But Shah's way? He mandated live telecasts of municipal council proceedings, making them fully accessible to the public for the first time ever. He also rolled out an online building permit system and digital signatures. Basically, he sliced right through the old bureaucracy, moving the city from a system ripe for corruption to one of strict digital accountability.
Which brings us to Section 2, rebuilding the urban landscape through infrastructure upgrades.
By enforcing strict pacts and leaning on his engineering background, he started making these immediate, highly tangible upgrades to the daily lives of Kathmandu residents. Within days of taking office, he finalized a 4-point pact with local committees and brought in private contracts to restart garbage collection that had been stalled for weeks. He installed tactile paving along major footpaths for visually impaired pedestrians. He designed new bus shelters modeled on traditional Newari rest houses called falcha, which brilliantly bridged modern utility with heritage conservation. He even piloted smart ticketing systems.
Now, what you really need to take away from this is why it matters. He wasn't just fixing potholes or slapping a fresh coat of paint on things. By redesigning bus routes, upgrading stops, and aggressively organizing waste management, he was taking a chaotic urban economy and transforming it into a structured, accessible metropolis. He was literally rewiring the fundamental accessibility of a developing capital.
Let's look at Section 3, reforming education and health through social services. Beyond infrastructure, he took a highly targeted approach to leveling the playing field for disadvantaged students and patients. He launched textbook-free Fridays in community schools, blocking off one day a week entirely for technical skills and extracurriculars. He also forced private schools to finally follow a long-ignored legal provision to provide scholarships to at least 10% of their students. Over in healthcare, he injected 90 million rupees to equip modern operating theaters at the Kanti Children's Hospital and upgrade facilities at other major medical centers. But it wasn't all smooth sailing. I mean, you can't rewire a massive, historic city without breaking a few things along the way. Rapid modernization inherently creates massive friction, especially in a developing economy. And that brings us to the significant controversies and real challenges of his tenure.
Moving to Section 4, the cost of disruption and urban friction.
We have to objectively look at the heavy pushback his hardline tactics sparked. The friction escalated rapidly. He started with this super aggressive demolition campaign against commercial structures encroaching on public land. literally giving businesses just 35 days' notice before the bulldozers arrived. In month 4, he actually tore down part of a cinema hall to uncover the buried Tukucha River. But things got more intense. In November 2022, attempts to evict squatters from the Bagmati riverbanks turned into violent clashes, injuring 21 people. And by September 2023, his intense crackdowns on street vendors led an activist known as Iyer to stage a 199-hour vigil right outside City Hall.
These actions drew incredibly heavy scrutiny, both at home and internationally. Human Rights Watch explicitly accused the city of using disproportionate force against vendors. And look, while some residents actively cheered the return of public land and clear of footpaths, we have to acknowledge the complex reality here. Nearly half of Nepal's economy relies on these informal sectors. Displacing them without an immediate safety net sparked an intense, ongoing debate about the real human cost of rapid urban modernization.
Finally, Section 5, scaling the modernization blueprint to the national stage.
Despite the disruption, or honestly, maybe because of it, his Kathmandu blueprint catapulted him nationally. His breakthrough in the 2026 general election was just massive in scale. Shah resigned as mayor, joined the Rastriya Swatantra Party, and intentionally challenged the old guard on their own turf. He contested the Japa 5 constituency, which was the absolute stronghold of four-time former Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli. Shah didn't just win, he completely decimated the incumbent, 68,348 votes to 18,734. It was one of the largest victory margins in Nepali parliamentary history.
And literally on day one upon becoming prime minister, Shah applied his municipal playbook nationally. His government immediately launched a massive 100-point charter of governance. Just as he streamlined City Hall, he took huge structural steps for the country. He pushed to reduce federal ministries from 22 down to 18 just to cut unnecessary spending. He established an asset investigation commission to audit senior officials. Basically, he took the exact accountability and efficiency he demanded of Kathmandu and applied it to the whole federal government.
He also applied his engineering mindset to macroeconomics with these simple, highly technical adjustments meant to instantly improve national liquidity. Under his administration, Nepal actually became the very first South Asian country to adopt a fortnightly, so a 15-day pay cycle for all civil servants, police, and military personnel. It was a brilliant, targeted move designed to improve cash flow for working people, directly mirroring systems used in developed nations.
So what does this all mean? We leave you with this final thought. Shah's journey from an underground rapper and structural engineer to the youngest prime minister of Nepal proves that bold, localized action can absolutely rewrite a nation's future. He showed us that an uncompromising vision can rewire a city and inspire a whole country. But, the delicate balance between rapid progress and managing social friction, especially for the most vulnerable people in the informal economy, remains the ultimate test of his ongoing leadership. Does true modernization require uncompromising disruption? That's the question his legacy will ultimately have to answer. Thanks for learning with us today.